And
Collin here.
and we are ready to bring you Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 8.
Bad territory.
We're at the halfway point.
Yeah, wow.
It's crazy.
Final season, halfway point. The team's got to work with some old rivals again. Old rival and some other old characters come back in this episode just to find out what the hell this M count stuff is.
Yeah, right.
And why the Empire wants it so bad. So immediately the episode starts off at that like Pabu island, basically planet, island planet. Crosshair's checking in on Omega, who kind of has this feeling of guilt because Echo and Rex lost so many team members just to protect her.
Yeah.
And she sees that as like her fault, which clearly it's not.
Right.
They would have done that regardless.
They would have done it regardless. It's not her fault, and like if she can help still defeat the Empire, and,
right.
and like they're fighting for her, for people like her to have a future.
And it's like Crosshair, because they're right outside the Marauder. She's sitting on the basically the entrance to it, and Crosshair is basically saying why she needs to chill and lay low, and Hunter's like, yeah. Hunter comes out and it just confirms what Crosshair's been saying, and it's like, yeah, no, we need to keep you out of sight right now because we need to figure out what's going on, and in order to figure that out, we need the heat off of us. Yeah. For now, so we need to hide you, and we need you to lay low so we can go figure out what this M count stuff is to begin with.
One of my favorite things though is when they get the transmission from Fee.
Yeah, back on the Marauder. They're like, so great. Wrecker's like, yeah, Wrecker freaks out, right?
Yeah. He's like, we got a call from Fee.
Yeah, and it's I was wondering what happened to you.
No. But the best though is Crosshair is like, who's Fee?
Yeah.
And Omega's like, she's a liberator of ancient wonders. Yeah. He's like, huh?
Yeah, I ain't buying into that.
What? She's a pirate. She's a pirate.
Okay. Yeah, he kind of goes even more like, okay, now more.
Now this is fine.
Yeah. So so that's great because it's another character I didn't expect or know that they were going to bring back, but I was hoping because she's great. Wanda Sykes is awesome, and Fee's a cool character. She was kind of like the love interest with Tech. And she even mentions Tech like he was the brains. I can only talk to the kind of the villainy in the Star Wars galaxy, but I can't really figure this stuff out like he could have. And but what I've heard, she says, is basically that a bunch of Class 1 super high up bounty hunters have been hired across the galaxy to capture M count targets. Yeah. So targets across the galaxy that have this M count are getting snatched up by super well-trained bounty hunters.
Yeah, the best
for
of the
the
best.
Empire. Yeah.
And so then it's like, do you know any bounty hunters? And they're like, we can think of one.
Yeah, because they got chased by one before.
Yeah.
Which is Fennec Shand in
Ming Nong Ween.
Yeah, which is awesome to bring her back again.
I love it.
She hunted Omega though, which is an interesting thing because they do bring it up later, but we know as the audience, but Bad Batch doesn't know, that she was hired by Nala Se to actually protect Omega, but they don't know that. They just knew she was hunting them and trying to capture Omega. And then Nala Se kind of was like, they're good. Yeah, they're good with her. Yeah. But anyway, they don't know that, so they're like, we got to be super careful. And she's gonna want and Fee's like, she's gonna want a large payment. So you better be ready for this. Yeah, and so they're basically like, we can't tell her much about what we're doing, why we're doing it. We can't bring up Omega too much, blah blah blah. Yeah. So before Hunter leaves though with Wrecker, he explains that they're going alone again. She needs to stay back. Yeah. And before she gets too sad, he kind of gives her a side quest.
Yeah, right. But it
Very
totally but it changes her. It changes her whole demeanor.
Happy,
because she's
still important.
Well, because she's got something to do, but she also wants to do it. She's
Hunter
been
now cares enough to get her to do something for Crosshair is probably good to hear too.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's it's a cool moment with that, just a change in her facial expression, and so Hunter and Wrecker finally go off, but we're at this seedy bar And,
on this weird space station
right.
planet thing.
And Hunter and Wrecker are kind of walking through it,
station.
and they run into Fennec, who's at the table with some guy already who's trying to hire her.
Yeah.
This is kind of like weakling guy.
And he's like, make sure you know make sure he knows it was me.
Yeah.
It's like the first thing we hear from this like little Greedo alien looking guy.
Gross, like little scumbag. So he's trying to hire her for something, and she's just not interested in what the Bad Batchers want right away until they kind of like force themselves in and mention what they're looking for right now.
Yeah.
And her ears perk up, and she's like, "Get out of here!" to the one guy.
Yeah.
Finally, and then the Hunter explains they need to find like information on the M count stuff, and she's like, "Oh, I can get you information, but you don't have the money for it. So what we can do is I got this job." And Wrecker's like, "You want us to work together or work with you?" And she's like, "Not with me, for me." And she's definitely adamant on the fact that she's the boss on this job, and if they want this information, and if they want that information, she's gonna pull the strings here, and
absolutely,
and she's gonna get all the payment too, so don't even try.
Yeah, right. That was so funny too, of her like adding in that like, and I keep all the payment.
Yeah, like there's all these little like nails on the coffin with her where she keeps like putting it in their heads that she's the boss, she's getting the money, like that's all they're getting is this information. And so they agree. They're like, Hunter's like, yeah, I guess, you know, we'll do what we gotta do for this information. So they cut to Omega and Crosshair, who off screen Omega clearly convinced Crosshair to see AZ about the
scanning or something, seeing
about
if there's
his
something
hand,
that can be done.
Yeah, so AZ's the droid's scanning him and checking him out, and he's through trial and error, nothing's really working, and he's like, I don't think it's an ailment that I could fix. I don't think it's a physical problem. I think it's a mental problem. And that kind of Crosshair doesn't like that answer.
No.
I don't think.
No, he doesn't.
And he gets real touchy about being asked about the experiments and stuff, and he just storms off like a kid.
Yeah,
you know,
he's not happy.
No, he's definitely not. So he doesn't want to talk about what he went through on Mount Tantus, clearly, and
he's got some trauma to get through.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not gonna happen in one go.
In the first attempt.
But he has been working through it already with trust and stuff like that. He's building trust and stuff. Anyway, so traveling through hyperspace, Hunter and Crosshair are kind of talking. And they're like debriefing, and like all of a sudden Fennec just comes through the door.
We don't even
again.
trust her, and now we're working for her. What are we doing here, Hunter?
Right. And then she just busts through. She doesn't just reminding you that she's in charge. This is her ship. You know, she's taking it. So she comes in to basically brief them about the target, which is
and reassures them that as long as you keep up your end, we're good.
Yeah.
You'll get your info, and we'll be fine. There is no double cross for me here.
Right. So tit for tat, you go after this guy, which is Siler Saris, the Slayer of Ordo Eris. She says that's the target, and he's particularly difficult because not only take out some baddies in the Haxian Brood, he even got away with a bunch of money on that job, and then killed all the bounty hunters that have gone
after him
to grab him.
To bring him in, and all of that. Then Fennec also gets they land on the planet. They
which shout out Dork Side of the Force. They called it Space Florida.
Yes.
Which shout out.
That's awesome.
Dork Side of the Force. There are
Space Florida, but they're right. And
so they're on like literally on like an airboat too.
Yeah.
Like
they're basically on the Star Wars version of an airboat, and she's like, this better not capsize to the little like button droid that's there. Like, this better not capsize or flip over or anything like the last one.
Right. And when they're going through the like river basically here, she's basically warning them like, I would not go in that water, right? And then all of a sudden they're pulling up, and Hunter's like, stop, like I see something. There's I think mines in the swamp. Maybe we should check it out. And she's like, yeah, go in the water, check it out.
And
Wrecker's like, wait, you just said you wouldn't go in there. And she's like, I wouldn't.
I'm not.
You're going to, though.
And I'm not, but you're
Remember,
going
you're
to.
the explosives expert. You're supposed to be here for that.
Mm-hmm.
So go check out the mines, which are explosives, and I'll stay watch. And
they also throw out, why don't we just go around?
Yeah, and she's like, no.
No. She's like, no, he will be expecting us to go around. So that is why you, explosives dude, you're here to
we're not
do your
going
job.
around. You're going to go ahead and disarm these mines. So yeah, they get to work, and they cut back to Pabu again.
Yep.
And Omega tries cheering up Crosshair throughout his missing a bunch of targets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not really working, to be honest, but he's just kind of frustrated, and
she's like, it's getting closer, and he's like, that's not good enough for a sniper.
Snipers don't get close to the target or not. But anyway, so she's kind of got this idea, and she's like, I know you're gonna hate it, but I definitely have an idea. And it's funny because, like, whatever it is, like, it's gonna be kind of cute.
Well, and because she's also like, just because AZ says there's nothing doesn't mean that you can't be fixed. Maybe
exactly.
Maybe you're the one who needs to fix you.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, but it's hard to take that in when you're going through something like that. Yeah. But exactly. And we cut back to Hunter and Wrecker, who are...
Hold on. That full exchange, though, is she's like, I have an idea, but you're going to have to trust me. And he's just like, I'm not going to like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Am I? She's... No, but her retort back, though, is... You don't like anything, which is true. And then he's like, "All right, like that's what that's finally where he's like
getting his total attitude. Like I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it anyway."
But that whole exchange is just
so great.
It's just so funny to me.
Yeah, their chemistry this whole season's been awesome.
Yeah, it's been awesome,
and that was definitely like the one of the great moments of it. But yeah, so we go back to Hunter and Wrecker disarming the mines, and this is when they notice some like river monsters showing up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like as you said,
the swampy waters. We got the Gators coming. The Star Wars Gators.
Yeah, exactly. So like Dorkside said, Dorkside of the Force said, it's the Florida of space. And
but even in my notes, I have got some real Lake Placid Anaconda vibes.
Yeah, so they're like, maybe we gotta hurry up and get these mines disabled. They got like 2 left, and they start doing it, but the gators start swarming.
Mm-hmm.
These beasts start swarming, and they get them disarmed, and
back on the boat. But a couple gators jump on too.
And but they drag Hunter down.
Yeah,
and they start an underwater fight here. It's pretty cool, and I love. There's a moment where they're fighting, and Wrecker takes one of the gators and hits another gator with it, and it's like a great moment. That's just like best for animation. You know what I mean? You couldn't do that in a live action movie, but like movie or show, but it's great for animation, and it's funny.
Oh man, it's so awesome.
Yeah. So eventually Hunter gets loose of them and gets back on the boat, and they start tracking their bounty again.
Trying to find the currents, but they went cold.
Yeah. The trail's gone cold, basically. And,
and then Fennec starts asking like questions about Omega, why they're looking into the M counts and stuff. And then she's like, "Oh, Omega got away from you too. Like you're talking about she got away from me."
Right. So and like she's basically like saying, "Why are you so willing to like risk your neck for this girl? Like what's going on?" And she's like, "I wasn't. Actually, I wasn't. I never didn't catch her. It's because my client." Called it off. It wasn't. It wasn't. It's because I stopped looking. I stopped hunting her. So kind of like a underhanded like thing, but it also went to show that like she was actually not doing what they thought she was doing.
Yeah.
But like kind of like you could trust me, but also like a like a underhanded.
Well, because she says the client called it off once. Like once
and
you
she never
guys
said who the client was.
Yeah, once the client, because the client, my client, thought Omega was safer with you.
Mm-hmm.
So like
for whatever reason. Yeah. So Hunter again, as they're having this conversation, Hunter picks up on a trail. Yeah,
and he's like, "We got to go off like I don't know, off over to the right, over yonder."
Yeah. So they end up. Yeah, they end up at the target's safe house, basically Siler's safe house. And Fennec tells him again, he's just the best. Like she's just like, go sneak in. And they're like, "Oh, well, you sure, dude? Like, I don't wanna."
Yeah, there's like
it's totally like a split up gang moment in Scooby Doo, and they're like, "But that doesn't sound like a good idea." But like as much as they protest, they end up doing it, and as they're sneaking into the house,
well, Hunter goes up there. Wrecker's kind of watching his back in the entryway and the ladder going up,
and as Hunter gets in, he's basically ambushed, jumped by the Siler character, and so Siler escapes after this little fight. He escapes through this like little
another underground tunnel.
Yeah, this little like so many underground. Yeah, exactly. So he runs to his boat basically, and he thinks he's getting away, but Fennec's there for him. She screwed his boat up, and she cut the power to because he goes to their boat. Right. Well, he tries to get on their boat, then like he fights, and then they start fighting. Yeah. The three of them start fighting then, and after a little fight between all three of them, he gets knocked out, and basically their bounties collected. The
best thing though is Wrecker's like, "You were right to bring us along on this one."
Yeah, for sure.
But Fennec also back is like, "I'm always right."
Yeah, exactly. That's why I told you to do all this. Yes, cut back to Pabu, which is again the cute moment that I've been waiting for. Crosshair is
the Jedi
with Omega.
Shit? The Jedi shit?
Yeah,
the meditation.
They're straight meditating, which they learned from the Wookiee Jedi Padawan Gungi in the last season, and they. It just shows again, like all the things she's learned this season. She's using all those little elements from different people. She didn't just learn from Hunter. She didn't just learn from Echo. She learned from everyone she was around, including the people who came along and went. And yeah, that was one of my favorite episodes of last season with that Jedi Padawan Wookiee, and he taught her how to meditate, and she's using this moment to teach Crosshair how to meditate, who's not down at first, but he eventually gives in.
Well, he's like, because he's also like, wait a second, you've seen the Wookiees and you've been to Kashyyyk? Like,
yeah, he's like, he's starting to like, I feel like get a little FOMO. Yeah. He's like, oh man, I missed out on some cool stuff.
Yeah, I really did.
And so he eventually just gives in and starts realizing it could
takes Omega's hand, closes his eyes, starts breathing in.
He's doing exactly what you should be doing when you're meditating. He's taking it all in and he's letting it all go. And this is a cute moment between the two, and it's a beautiful sunset going on as they're doing it. And cut back to Fennec and the boys at like the spaceport, whatever. She basically reveals right away that she doesn't have any of the information on her, and she's gonna have to go get it for him. She's like, I promise, pinky promise.
I promise I'll deliver the information after I deliver this dude to my client. Then I'll get you the information. I'll make a call to you, and we'll be gravy.
Hunter's like, dude,
what?
Yeah, but like, also, what are we gonna do about it?
Yeah, we got nothing else to do. Right. Nowhere else to go.
She's the only lead we have right now. So yeah, she just flies off. Yeah. And then cut into her ship. She's telling some mysterious person on the other end of her comms that she just did a job with the Bad Batch crew, and that she will send over any information. Oh, that was also looking for MCOM stuff, and she'll send over any information about that so they can help the person on the other end track them down.
Crazy.
But who do you think that other person was? Do you think it was a bit of a mislead? And it might have been what's the other lady's name who screwed him over last season? At the end of last season,
who owned the bar?
Yeah, the girl that was giving him all the jobs was played by
Rhea Perlman.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I can't think of her name right now.
It is.
I have no idea.
Sid. Yeah, Sid Aaron.
That's right.
Sid Aaron Skyleback. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sid. So I have a feeling that it's at least a little bit of a
that it's not that it's not
necessarily the Empire.
It's not Fennec talking to
who you expect her
to Hemlock or somebody like that.
Because why would she be? There was never any
Right.
connection to the Empire. She was Cam and Owens asked her the first time. She seems to have some kind of loyalty. And we see that later in the Boba Fett show too. She does seem to have some kind of loyalty, but we'll see. We'll see if she's maybe just being a bounty hunter.
I know. So we are now at the halfway point. Episode 9 is dropping next week. I'm really excited about this.
Right.
I want to thank you all for joining us. I'm Jimmy with the Triple C Collective. This is Collin.
Yo.
Hope you all stay safe. Please like and subscribe to our video and to our channel.